Good morning and welcome to Vacancy. This morning, we're talking about something that has really become an issue of consideration by employers of labor, employees, and administrators and HR managers. It's the issue of religion. Religion in the workplace, religion in our labor environment, and religion in our labor market. People have either taken their religiosity and whatever religion they're practicing, and they've now used it as a yardstick for determining the things that they do, how they do them, when they do them in the workplace. You find some people who say, I have to wear a hijab to work. And the people say, you can't wear that to work. The work determines how you dress. Sometimes you find that some people fill their CVs and do not write their religion because they don't want to make that an issue. But some people insist on either employing a Christian or a Muslim. I'm sure if you have an employee who, in the place of religion, writes pagan, you'll be worried about the person's spirituality. There's some people who don't work on Saturdays, and some Christians who would not work on Sundays. I was talking with my guest on this show this morning, and I mentioned that there was a time that some people say they can't play football on Sundays because of their religion. Since they work, playing football is work, then they consider playing football on Sunday as work. The drivers too who can't work on Sundays. These days you find there are people who go to work and are forced to be part of morning service. Or they invite a pastor who comes to the place to bless everyone, even when they don't practice the same religion. Friday prayers now start on Thursdays because some people don't come to work on Fridays in some ministries. Are we substituting religion for productivity? So to join me this morning, I have Benga Totoyi. He's going to help us shed more light on this. Benga, you're welcome.
It's a pleasure to be
Well
here.
done. Thanks once again for coming.
Pleasure.
So we're talking about the good, the bad, and the unacceptable.
Yeah.
We also have, last time that you came, talked about people who come to the office wearing the banner of their church.
Yes.
Because the pastor said they must wear it everywhere.
Okay.
And the company is saying, no, you can't wear that to work.
Yeah.
Okay? So where do we draw the line?
I think it's important to first acknowledge the fact that our country is one that religion plays a very, very strong role.
Okay.
But then there has to be that clear line that separates your religious expectations from your expectation for productivity at work. Because let's be sincere, some of the financial commitments you make to your faith-based organizations also comes from your earnings either as an employee or as a business owner. So God will not have you do things that are illegal or not accepted in your place of work, all under the cover of religion. I think that's one thing we need to state very clearly. And every employer has that right to demand that you are first productive and result-oriented in his or her place of work before you're even expecting to receive payments or whatever it is. And that you love or serve God should even make you a bit more productive while at work, not an excuse for laziness or crappy work.
Okay. If you work in an organization where you're Muslim,
Yeah.
and then they have the morning devotion, maybe the MD just discovered that he had some issues with AFCC,
Yes.
or with any other person,
Yes.
or maybe they've done contracts, the contracts are not yet
And
coming
need to pray
and they need to pray for those things, and then they bring. Should you be part of those? Because at that point it would look like for the whole benefit of the organization.
Yes.
So should you be part of that kind of?
again, the issue is diversity in the workplace. So from employee to employer, or when we discuss the subject of diversity at work, it speaks to both sex and religion. So as I'm coming in, I'm able to tell you, hey, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, I'm a pagan.
Okay.
You should respect that, and also tell me your position as an employer of labor on religion issues. That should also affect the issue of sex, and I know later on we'll get into that. So what that means is, if we're having anything to do as an organization, as an employee, I should respect. So we come into a meeting, there's something that has to do with the organization, we need to pray about it. Yes, I can stay in there as a Muslim and someone prays in a Christian manner. I don't have to say amen or do things that you'll expect me to do as a Christian. I don't have to, and you shouldn't force me to. The same way, if I'm asked to pray and I pray as a Muslim, I don't have to force you to respond appropriately.
Because if there's an activity or an event, and they say come and pray, you just pray. But sometimes when you call some Muslims to pray, they would not say the words in Arabic. They will pray in English.
Enough for others to understand and respond in a certain way.
And respond.
What we've even seen is in some other places, people would respect the two religions, two major religions, and say, hey, if someone has prayed in Muslim and in Islamic manner, someone should pray as a Christian and vice versa. And that's fair. And that's fair.
Okay. In some other workplaces, they've started providing prayer rooms.
Yes.
And then should it be meeting? Should it be fairness if every organization has a prayer room? Because the Christians can pray anywhere, as I understand, but the Muslims need a prayer room.
Then again, I think it's the issue of the organization respecting the kind of people they have in the organization.
Or depending on the number.
Or the number and some of those. And even your size as an organization. Not everyone is your Googles of this world that can even provide you a sleep room.
NTA has a massive prayer ground here.
It's interesting, right? Again, our environment can allow for that. But if by virtue of a business expansion, NTA needs to take over that capacity, then the Christians and the Muslims within NTA, earning their pay within NTA, must respect that business decision and not turn against NTA for being against God.
For some, the reason for having prayer room is that if the people need to go pray in the nearby mosque, the downtime.
And that works. That works. But point is, if the organization can afford to. And if you work in an organization where to an extent you can't, maybe because of the work demands and stuff like that. For instance, if you are a stockbroker, the time you have to pray on a Friday, you should be on the trading floor.
Yes, on the trading floor.
My knowledge is not complete, but I will assume that if you miss that prayer during that time, you should be able to make it up later on in the day.
Most often, Muslims pray 5 times a day. And so, if you're a stockbroker, truly, you will have issues.
You will have issues with that on a Friday. And I would expect that the demands of that religion should understand and make provision for you to tweak it a little bit on a Friday.
What about dress code?
Dress code is a very, very interesting one as well. If I run an organization and I employ a Muslim, and you are a practicing Muslim, and you have to wear your hijab on a Friday, or every day of the week, all well and good. But we've seen cases where, say, in an hospital, or in some organizations where what you wear is sensitive to what you do, then that becomes an issue. Hospitals, security organizations, if your demands of your job would not allow it, then I expect you, as someone who believes in God, that respects legality and constitutions and all of that, to respect that demand. Go start your own business or go work somewhere else that can be accepted. But that you would not do certain things at work, that then becomes a productivity issue. And as an employer, I can take you on that.
We're still talking religion in the labor market, Nigerian labor market. Religion, the good, the bad, and unacceptable. We'll be back after this break.
got that.
Well done and welcome back. We're still on Vacancies. When you're employing, so and we're discussing done in the labor market. Now, to the point of employment.
Okay.
When you're employing, is it wrong for an employer to say we are employing only Christians, or we're employing only Christians, or the applicants we're looking for should be from a particular religion?
So, the word wrong.
Okay, is it appropriate? Is it appropriate? So we're not saying wrong. Is it appropriate for an employer to put it out there that they're looking for Christians or looking for Muslims?
So you made it easier for me.
Okay.
The employer has that right to, can prefer certain religion over others.
Okay.
In putting it out as a strong reason for not employing people, then sits on the borderline of discrimination and all that. And that's not right.
Okay.
The same thing applies to age, sex, and some of those kind of things. You can prefer it to say, because of your position on religion or the kind of work you do or business you do, you would rather certain people of a certain religion. You don't want to step on people's toes.
An employer can play safe by letting everybody come in, and you know who you're taking anyway.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And can somebody sue on the ground of if to be discriminated?
So what grounds do you have? What grounds do you have to claim that I did not employ you? Were you as good as someone else that I employed? Because competence is the real issue here, and we're advising that on both the employer and employee side.
Okay.
Don't put religion in front of me. Even if I was your pastor or was the leader of your mosque or whatever it is, don't come to me asking me to employ you because you're a member of my congregation. Come on the grounds of competence, right? Then on the employers, we are saying run a diverse work environment. Accept the Muslim, accept the Christian, accept someone who doesn't believe in God, who publicly says he doesn't believe, but he can get the job done.
I know two pastors, and not too long ago, there was I think in 2005, when I was going through my marriage class, and I went to a Bute Meta where they had a Redeem. Okay. There's a guy who drives there.
Yes.
He's a Muslim.
Interesting.
And when I heard his name, you meet some people and you think, okay, the guy is Isiaka.
Yes.
Or Ismail. Then he
yes.
converted
Yes.
to Christianity,
Yes.
but hadn't dropped the name.
Yes.
So I told him, I said, okay, so when did you get born again? He said, born again, Allah Akbar. No, he's still that is just working.
Yeah.
I said, oh really? So it meant that they employed him without it must have been competence then.
Yeah, competence should be the key word. And in the HR world, it's the issue of diversity. We're pushing it real big, but it touches on religion, sex, age, ethnicity, and things like that. So competence should be the right word you're watching for.
Now, holidays, Muslim holidays, Christian holidays. I think we get about 10 days of the year.
Yes.
Like Easter just ended now.
Yes.
And I was talking with somebody, and the person said, which is why this issue came up.
Okay.
So you had Easter Friday, you have Monday. So all of this eats into this, not to mention national holidays that we then have. So should people still go to work on religious?
I've been part of several discussions around this area, and I think it's high time we accepted it as a country that we have too many public holidays,
okay,
regardless of religion.
Okay.
I think it's also safe to say that we have a culture that encourages laziness, that encourages people just feeling entitled to take days off. And the bigger issue is for us as a country to encourage the younger generation to see virtue in diligence, to celebrate good work and competence at work. So yes, if you own or run a business or you work in an organization and there's demand to get things done. I know a friend who called me yesterday at 8:30. He was in his place of work. because he's going to travel this morning for another 2 weeks. He's not going to be in the office. He will get things done while he's away in Port Harcourt.
But there's
But
some
he
that
went.
needed
No one asked him to come to work, but his exact phrase was, "I need to go clear my desk to make room for while I'm not going to be around, so my team can function." That should be the attitude, regardless of your religion or even your class, your status in the organization.
I have a friend, well, he's a lawyer. I had a wedding on Saturday in Ibadan.
Okay.
And said he had to travel on Friday so that he would attend the wedding and then come back. And his driver said he can't make it because they had this night vigil that would take Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So at that point, should an employer be considerate on the grounds of religion?
Consideration should be on both sides.
Okay.
So you are an employee, you get paid for doing your job and doing it well. And I think the issue is that we are in an environment where not a lot of people own and run businesses. Because when they do, the thinking is different. You are coming to me saying, well, I won't come to work, I won't do my job because I have to go for a vigil. I can't go say that to a client. So be considerate on me as well, that if you don't work and we don't deliver, I can't pay you, right? And I think at this junction, we also need to speak to leaders of faith-based organizations, churches, mosques, whatever it is, to understand the times and understand the demand of the modern economy. God, yes, serving God is a spiritual thing, but we live in a physical world that has physical demands. People need to get to work and be productive at work. So if it means they need to pray, it doesn't have to be a vigil. If it means they need to study and go through some major spiritual exercise, it doesn't have to stop them from being productive at work. God who created us gave us a brain, and He will have us use it, right? So we are making a plea to leaders to be more understanding with your church your church followers or whoever it is they are, to allow them to do their job.
Okay. Now, the issue about wearing hijab has been on. There was a lady who refused to wear the normal gown for her graduation in law school. I think she was penalized or something. Okay. At what point should understanding also come in here, that people will be like, okay, because it's your religion, you can
will allow you
wear.
My position is that institutions are stronger, and graduating as a lawyer comes with, you knew that before you chose law as a course of study, and you knew 4 years down the line or 5 years down the line this will be required of you. Even if you must seek some permission, why not do it a lot earlier? Don't wait until that day. Or better still, will you be going through the ritual of convocation and all of that, will it stop you if you just respect the institution and do what it is that is demanded of you, without, say, maybe wearing a hijab and things like that? On the side of the institutions as well, diversity is a very hot subject. I know I'm going back to it. And more institutions are trying to be a bit accommodating to the demands of religion and sex and all of that. But I think the bigger issue here is that for students and employees to respect institutional demands more.
I want to put my director on a tight spot. My director is Muslim.
Interesting.
And you're going to answer me on the headphone before I go on the break. Director, if you're asked to direct a production during Jumat, would you direct it? I'm waiting for my director to answer and then go on the break. My director said he would direct it. We'll go on the break.
Fantastic.
No easy.
Double your hustle.
You have to double your hustle. I have so still talking about religion.
Yes.
I have a friend who was invited to play somewhere, and he said he's a gospel DJ.
Okay.
And so he was invited to play at a birthday. He played the first song, second song, and then I said, "Don't you have whiskey, Davido?" He said, "No, he's a gospel." He said, so they told you that he has to play. He said no. So somebody now brought his iPod,
Okay.
and said, "Can you plug this? Let us enjoy our own." So he put it and then went to sit down.
And his money will not be complete, I'm sure.
Oh, it wasn't complete. So the thing is, some other times you have people who have weddings,
Yes.
and they insist that the band must play certain songs,
Yes.
and everybody must dance to it. So my friend Sugar
Okay.
owns the Sugar Band. Akin owns the Sugar Band, and he said that there are certain times that they perform, and they're playing, and the people dancing do not care if the song being played is nearly like a gospel song
Yes.
or something, but they still dance on
We
the
all
same.
need God.
We all need God.
Yes.
So religion has taken a stronghold in this. What about holidays? Lesser Hajj, because uh, sometimes like now they're on lesser Hajj.
Yes.
Now, would somebody take a break from work? Would it be calculated as part
As part of your annual leave, great.
Oh, okay.
As part of your annual leave, great, good doing. I won't stop you. But you wouldn't want to. So what you then say is people will not touch their annual leave.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
then
not
say,
right.
okay,
That's not right. I'm giving you your leave days for the year.
share it as you want.
Plan around it. I don't. It's your prerogative. But it's just again, it goes back to that underlining thought of religion gives me an excuse to do whatever it is I need to do, I want to do, even though it doesn't make sense. I think that's the cultural issue that we are really speaking against.
There are cases of people who take religion to the extreme, and when they say, "Oh, this guy is giving us a contract,
Yes.
we need to give the person something,"
Yes.
and they say, "My religion," maybe the person is an accountant,
Yes.
and he says, "My religion does not allow it."
Okay. So yeah, bribe is not accepted. However,
But
within,
bribe, kickback, are they the same thing?
I'd rather call it PR.
Okay, PR, okay.
PR. So you one don't give monetary incentives
to people who
cover
okay.
for
Incompetence. Okay.
Don't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
And I know you well. You wouldn't do that. However, in getting jobs, in running contracts, in running your enterprise, you know the place of maintaining your relationships and finding ways to give incentives to the clients you manage. And I know for